Hey everyone, it's Mel. Welcome back. Today we are planting tomatoes. We are in the veggie garden. We need to get these tomatoes in the ground, so I'm going to show you what I use to help my soil to be really healthy for the tomatoes and what I use to feed the tomatoes. All right, let's get to it. Welcome to the veggie garden. We're walking inside. And clearly I have some weeding and mulching to do, but on the right hand side where we're walking to will be our tomato garden area, and here's where we're going to remove those grow bags and put our tomatoes in the ground. So here I will be removing the grow bags. I have a total of 5 grow bags and I have them for about 3 years now. And I imagine the soil inside of the bags to not be very effective any longer. Tomatoes are heavy feeders, and I kept replanting tomatoes in these bags year after year. So I'm ready to say goodbye to the bags, and I'm ready to sort of use the ground that I have, my native soil, cultivated, and plant my tomatoes in ground this year. Can you guys see that? The first tomato, 4th of July tomato from Burpee. So these tomatoes ideally should be ready by the 4th of July. However, I'm getting them in the ground a little later than normal. So I'll probably have to wait just a few weeks after the 4th, but that's okay. It's summer now, it's really hot. And that's the weather that tomatoes love. They love the heat. So this is really the perfect time for me to get them in the ground. I'm going to be doing 2 tomatoes. Yeah, 2 4th of July tomatoes. They're like slicer tomatoes. And to me, slicer tomatoes are synonymous with summer. Have nice tomato sandwiches, which I love. So I'll put these 2 together, and then I'll show you the other 2 we're planting down below. And I'm going to show you that how we want it to be in the ground is like a little tilted so that it will lean up against the fence, and that way I don't have to stake them, which is helpful. Okay, here is where we want to amend our soil. I'm using organic, natural compost, bag compost. I have a composter next to the veggie garden, but I can never get enough of the material to really do what I need to do in a veggie garden. So I will still buy bag compost. And here I have to do a voiceover. So you see me talking to you, but you can't hear me because 3 people decided to mow their lawns while I was filming. So anyway, I'm just saying to you here that I'm adding in the compost and I am blending it in with the native soil. And then before we put the tomato in the ground, we also want to put in a little biotone starter fertilizer for the roots to get them going nice and strong. And here we got it. So another thing we need to be aware of is that the bottom leaves on the tomato plant, let's just go ahead and take those off, because the closer the leaves sit to the soil, the better chance of them getting fungus or some sort of tomato disease. We don't want that. So we can definitely peel off or clip off the bottom few stems on the tomato plant, and you can put this tomato plant deeper in the soil, covering more of the root of the stem than you can almost any other plant. So it's very safe to do that with your tomato to ensure a good, healthy tomato growth. next girl we're going to get in the ground, or the next two actually, are the sun sugar cherry tomatoes. Now I planted 2 sun sugar and 2 sun gold tomatoes last year, and I loved them both. To me, they were both delicious, sweet, and I mean, I couldn't tell them apart really, except the fact that one was slightly sweeter than the other, but they were both really good. So this year I just got 2 sun sugars, and we're going to plant them here. Done. We got our 4 tomatoes in the ground, 2 4th of July tomatoes that are like beef steaks, slider tomatoes you can put in sandwiches, and 2 sun gold baby tomatoes, grape tomatoes. Now we need to water them in, and what I use is this tomato feed. I also switch between the tomato granular feed, but I'm going to use this because they're really thirsty. I need them to get immediate feed. With the granular, it can take a week for it to really get down into the weeds, and they need this now because they're a little dry. So we're going to do this. We're going to put 2 caps in our watering can, and our watering can is a 2-gallon can, so 2 capfuls per watering can. Okay, here we go. Okay, we are all done. We're watered in. I mixed 2 capfuls of that tomato feed in my watering can. Let's get a closer look here. Okay, so they're in the ground. I left the name tags next to them. Let's get a little closer so we can see, so that when they start growing, I don't forget who's who. It's a little wobbly. So again, the 2 sliders tomatoes, 2 beefsteak tomatoes, and then we have the 2 cherry tomato, the sun gold, there and there. So 4 tomatoes will be quite enough for us for the summer. So that's it. We're all done. We got in our 4 tomatoes, watered them in, and I think what I'll do next is I really do have to remulch this entire veggie garden. It's looking a little dry, a little ashy. I mulched it last year and I didn't mulch it this year, and we're in June, but that's okay. We still have time. So I'll get some mulch down to help suppress the weeds. But yeah, we got in our tomatoes. I have them sort of planted and tilted like this. not this way, so that they can grow up against the fence, and that way I don't have to worry about staking when they get really big and heavy. I just sort of weave them in through the fence. It's what I did last year. It worked really well for me, and I didn't have to worry about the tomatoes, the stems breaking from the load from the heaviness of the tomatoes, because I also last year had slicer tomatoes and they were huge. So give this a try. This is actually my first time planting the tomatoes in the ground. I usually use grow bags, but with grow bags, you gotta buy the bag, you gotta buy the soil to go in the bag. So to me, it just feels like an extra expense. And although I already have the bags and I had some soil in the bags, I did it for the last 3 years, and I think the soil is pretty, void of any nutrients. So I would have to just continually add amendments anyway. So why not do it in my ground, with the native soil to sort of start getting it in good condition, and I can just use that year after year. So anyway, we'll keep an eye on this. We'll see how well this does. Let me know if you have any questions. What do you do when you plant your tomatoes? Do you use grow bags, or do you use in-ground tomato growing process? Let me know. And I hope they do well. I think they will. They'll be fine. We amended the soil. We put in some starter fertilizer for the roots. I think they're going to be just fine. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions. And thanks so much for hanging out with me today in the veggie garden. See you later. Take care.